It was supposed to be just another freezing, forgettable night in the middle of nowhere, Canada, February 1993. Snow didn't fall, it attacked. Big fat flakes slammed the windshield like fists. The wind howled so loud it sounded like wolves. The road was gone, just a white tunnel between black trees. Keanu Reeves was 29, long hair, thin face, eyes already a little too sad for his age. He was driving a beat-up green 1981 Jeep Wagoneer he bought for $800 cash from a guy in Vancouver. The radio only caught static. The heater had given up hours ago. His breath froze in the air before it hit the glass. He wore an old black leather jacket, a gray hoodie, and fingerless gloves a girl gave him on a movie set. His boots were wet. His toes had stopped hurting. That was the scary part. He was trying to get from a tiny film shoot in Calgary all the way to Toronto to see his mom and his sister Kim for Christmas. Money was tight. He had exactly $147 in his wallet, a half-pack of Du Maurier cigarettes, and a cassette tape of the Beatles' White Album. He sang along to keep himself awake. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. His voice shook from cold. The gas needle sat below E. He whispered to the Jeep, "Come on, baby, just a few more miles." Then the engine coughed once, coughed twice, made a horrible metal scream, and died. The Jeep rolled forward a few feet on momentum and stopped dead in the center of the road. Everything went silent except the wind screaming outside like it wanted to get in. Keanu turned the key. Click, click, click. Nothing. He pumped the gas. Nothing. Smoke leaked from under the hood and froze in the air. He rested his forehead on the icy steering wheel. "You have got to be kidding me." He opened the door. The storm punched him in the face. Snow flew into his mouth, his eyes down his neck. He couldn't see 10 feet. He slammed the door shut again. His hands shook so hard he could barely light a cigarette. The flame went out 3 times. When he finally got it lit, the smoke felt warm for 2 seconds. He laughed, a scared, crazy little laugh. "Great. I'm going to die with a cigarette in my mouth." He pulled out his giant brick cell phone, Motorola, the size of a shoe. No bars. 0. He was in a dead zone between 2 tiny towns 30 miles apart. He looked at the clock on the dash, 12:39 a.m. Temperature outside was -25 Celsius, wind chill much worse. He knew the stories. People fall asleep in cars like this and never wake up. Carbon monoxide or just pure cold, doesn't matter. Game over. He found an old wool blanket in the back that smelled like wet dog and gasoline. He wrapped it around his shoulders like a cape. He rubbed his arms until they hurt. He slapped his thighs. He talked out loud so his brain wouldn't shut down. "Okay, Keanu. Think. You walked away from worse. Dad left when you were 3. You got kicked out of high school. You slept on friends' couches in LA with $20 to your name. You can do this." But the cold didn't listen to pep talks. It crawled under his skin. His feet turned to bricks. His fingers went stiff. The worst part, he started feeling warm. Sleepy warm. That fake warmth that tricks people into dying. He knew it was the beginning of the end. He cracked the window an inch to stay awake. Snow blew in and piled on the seat. He shouted into the dark, "Help! Anybody! Please!" Only the wind shouted back. He started crying. Not loud, just quiet tears that froze on his cheeks. He thought about his mom opening the door on Christmas and him not being there. He thought about his little sister Kim, who was already sick back then. He whispered, "I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Kim." He closed his eyes for a second, just a second, and almost didn't open them again. Then far away, 2 tiny yellow lights. Headlights, barely visible through the blizzard. They moved slow, like the truck was swimming. Keanu wiped the inside of the windshield with his sleeve. The lights got bigger. A big old red Ford pickup with chains on the tires and a snowplow blade on the front. It pulled up behind the Jeep, engine rumbling like a friendly bear. The driver's door opened. Snow exploded inside the cab. A man stepped out. He was tall, even hunched against the wind. Thick red winter coat that looked homemade. Big black boots. Wool hat with ear flaps. White beard full of snowflakes. He carried a huge flashlight that cut through the dark like a lightsaber. He walked straight to Keanu's window and tapped gently with a gloved knuckle. Keanu rolled the window down 4 inches. His face was white, lips blue. "You alive in there, son?" the man asked. His voice was deep, slow, warm as fresh bread. "Barely," Keanu croaked. His teeth clacked like castanets. The man shone the light inside, saw the frost, the shaking kid, the fear. "Lord Almighty. Get out right now." My truck's warm. Keanu didn't argue. He grabbed his backpack and almost fell face first into a snowdrift. The man caught his arm, strong, steady. Easy, boy. I got you. The wind tried to knock them both over, but the old man was solid as a tree. He half-carried Keanu the 10 steps to the truck and pushed him into the passenger seat. Heat. Beautiful, glorious heat blasted from the vents. Keanu made a sound between a laugh and a sob. The seats were cracked vinyl, dog hair everywhere, but it felt like heaven. The man climbed back in, slammed the door, and the storm disappeared. He reached behind the seat and pulled out a huge silver thermos. Drink. All of it. Keanu's fingers were too stiff to twist the cap. The man did it for him. Hot coffee, sweet with canned milk and sugar, burned his tongue in the best way. Keanu drank half in one go. Tears mixed with the coffee on his chin. What's your name, kid? Keanu. I'm Harold Miller. Folks round here call me Harry. Harry looked him over. You're turning into a popsicle. Take off that wet jacket. He pulled a giant wool sweater from behind the seat, smelled like wood smoke and dog, and made Keanu put it on. It hung to his knees. Harry laughed. Looks better on you than me. Harry put the truck in gear. Chains crunched snow. We'll pull your Jeep off the road so nobody hits it. Then we'll get you fixed up. He hooked a tow chain like it weighed nothing, dragged the Jeep to the shoulder, and covered it with a tarp from his toolbox. Snow kept trying to bury everything. Back in the warm cab, Harry handed Keanu a pair of huge wool socks. Feet too. Now. Keanu peeled off his frozen boots. His toes were white. Harry didn't blink, just turned the heat vents toward Keanu's feet and kept driving slow and steady. They talked to keep Keanu awake. Keanu told Harry he was an actor, trying to be an actor, just finished a movie with Denzel Washington and Emma Thompson. Harry whistled low. Fancy. You hungry? He reached into a cooler and pulled out a Tupperware of homemade butter tarts. Keanu ate 3 without breathing. Harry laughed again, big belly laugh that made the whole truck shake. Ellen always said my tarts could raise the dead. Looks like she was right. Keanu asked about Ellen. Harry's eyes got soft. My wife. Best woman ever lived. Cancer took her 2 years ago. Still make her recipes every day. He patted the dashboard. This was her truck first. Red was her favorite color. Keanu looked at the faded photo taped above the radio. Harry 30 years younger, arm around a smiling woman with red hair. Next to it, a newer picture of a golden retriever with one floppy ear. That's Buster. Waiting at home. He'll be mad I'm late. They drove for almost 2 hours because the snow was so deep. Harry told stories the whole way. The time he pulled a school bus out of a ditch with 30 kids inside. The Christmas he delivered a baby in this very truck when a mom went into labor on the highway. How Ellen taught him to bake, to dance, to love. Keanu listened like a little kid. The coffee, the tarts, the stories. They all worked together to pull him back from the edge. Finally, orange lights appeared. Joe's 24-hour garage and coffee. A hand-painted sign flickered in the wind. Harry honked twice. An older man in pajamas and a parka came out rubbing his eyes. Harry, you old goat, it's 3 a.m. Harry grinned. Got a half-frozen movie star here, Joe. Need your magic. Joe and Harry worked on the Jeep for an hour, while Keanu sat inside drinking more coffee. They poured hot water on the fuel line, banged on the starter with a hammer the way only old Canadian men know how, installed a new battery Joe kept charged for emergencies. At 4:42 a.m. the Jeep roared back to life. Keanu almost kissed the hood. He ran to Harry with his wallet out. How much? I don't have much, but... Harry closed Keanu's wallet with one big hand. You keep your money, son. You get home to your mama. That's payment. Keanu's eyes filled again. At least take something. Harry thought, then unclipped the silver thermos and pressed it into Keanu's hands. Take this. Ellen's favorite. When you drink from it, remember, stop for the next person you see stuck. That's the only bill I ever send. Keanu hugged him so hard Harry's hat fell off. Harry hugged back like a grandpa. Go on now. Road's clear for a bit. Drive safe. Keanu drove away with the heater blasting and tears streaming. In the rearview mirror, he saw Harry standing under the gas station light in his red coat, snow swirling around him like a halo, waving slow. Keanu whispered, I'll never forget you, Harry. He kept that thermos on every movie set, in every home he ever lived in, for the next 32 years. Now fast forward. 2021. Keanu is 57. Beard salt and pepper. I still kind. He's in Canada again, filming a small movie away from paparazzi. One snowy December morning, he walks into a tiny cafe called Ellen's Place for coffee. The bell above the door jingles. Behind the counter is a very old man moving slow with a cane. Red coat still the same, now patched at the elbows. White beard down to his chest. Hands that shake when he pours. Keanu's heart actually stops beating for a second. "Harry." The old man looks up, squints, then his face breaks into the biggest smile Canada has ever seen. "Well, I'll be damned, the kid from the snow." Customers turn. Phones come out. But Keanu doesn't care. He runs around the counter and hugs Harry, so tight the cane clatters to the floor. Harry smells like coffee and wood smoke, exactly the same. They both cry. Grown men crying in a small-town cafe, and nobody laughs, because everyone in town already loves Harry. Harry is 93 now. Lives in the same little house. Roof leaks in 6 places. Furnace barely works. He lost Buster years ago. Pension is tiny. He still drives kids to hockey practice when the bus can't make it, still bakes butter tarts for the church, still wears Ellen's red coat even though the sleeves are too short now. Keanu spends the whole day with him. They drink coffee from the same silver thermos. Harry kept the spare one. They laugh until they cough. Keanu listens to every story again and records them on his phone because he never wants to forget a single word. That night, Keanu makes phone calls. 2 days later, big trucks roll into town. Construction crews. Roofers. Plumbers. Electricians. The whole town watches. Harry's tiny house gets completely rebuilt from the ground up. New everything, built to last another 100 years. Solar panels. Heated floors. A kitchen big enough to bake for the whole town. In the backyard, a brand new red pickup truck, same make and model as the 1993 one, but shiny, with chains already on the tires for emergencies. On the porch, a wooden crate. Inside, a golden retriever puppy with one floppy ear and a tag that says Buster II. The puppy licks Harry's face until Harry cries laughing. And taped to the front door, a thick envelope. Harry sits in his favorite old chair, now reupholstered, and reads Keanu's letter out loud to the puppy. "Dear Harry, that night in 1993, you didn't just save my body from freezing. You saved my heart from freezing too. You taught me the only rule that matters. When you see someone stuck, you stop. You help. No questions. This house is yours forever. Paid. The truck is yours. Buster II is yours. Coffee and butter tarts are on me for the rest of your life. You gave me tomorrow. Now I give you the rest of your todays. I love you, old man. The kid from the snow." Keanu. Harry cries so hard the puppy climbs in his lap and licks the tears. The whole town comes over that night with casseroles and beer. They eat butter tarts and tell the story of the night Harry saved a movie star. Phones record everything, but Keanu asks them to wait until Harry says it's okay. Harry never does let it go public. He just smiles and says, "Some things are too big for newspapers." Every Christmas after that, Keanu flies up, no bodyguards, no cameras. They bake together. Harry teaches Buster II to sit. They watch the snow fall and drink coffee from the silver thermos, both of them now, side by side on the shelf. Harry tells the same stories. Keanu records every word. One night, when Harry is 95, he falls asleep in his chair by the fire. Buster II curls on his lap. Keanu covers him with a blanket, kisses the top of his white head, whispers, "Thank you for the rule, Harry. I'm still following it." Harry passes quietly a few months later, warm in his bed, Buster II beside him, smiling in his sleep. At the funeral, the whole town shows up. Keanu stands in the back, red coat over his arm, Harry's coat, now patched by Keanu himself. The priest reads Harry's favorite Bible verse. Then Keanu steps forward and places the original silver thermos in the casket. "One last coffee for the road, old man." After the funeral, Keanu buys the little cafe and renames it Harry and Ellen's Place. Butter tarts are always free for kids. A sign on the wall says, "Stuck. Cold. Scared. Come in. Coffee's hot. Kindness is free." Harry's rule. Every year on February 17th, the night of the storm, Keanu closes whatever movie set he's on, flies to Canada, and spends the night driving Harry's old routes in the red truck with Buster III, because the circle keeps going. He looks for broken down cars, for people walking in the cold, and when he finds them, he always does. He pulls over, hands them a thermos of sweet coffee, and says the same words Harry once said to him. "Come on in. I got heat." because one stranger in a red coat proved that kindness is the warmest thing in the world, and it always, always comes back home. If this story made you cry, smile, or remember to be kind today, do 3 things. Like the video. Share it with someone who feels stuck in their own snowstorm. Comment Harry's rule, so we know the circle keeps growing. We love you. Stay warm. Stay kind. And remember, the next person you help might just be saving your life 30 years from now. One coffee, one red coat, one rule at a time. See you in the next story. Red Heart.